I know what you're thinking. Thanksgiving, a day to appreciate and cherish, a day to make amends, a day to put grudges aside, a day for tradition. But I'm here to touch on another tradition, one that goes beyond family recipes and pumpkin pies, a tradition unlike any other. Two historic teams facing off in a good old-fashioned NFC East showdown.
This is the best rivalry in the NFL.
And much like my new film, Robin Hood, the men out on the field are presented with an opportunity to cement their legacy in front of the world. On one side, a Washington team determined to prove that they belong with the elite. And on the other, America's team, baby. Cowboys team that always comes to play on Turkey Day. Somebody butter my biscuits. Let's eat.
Feed them.
It's time to play football. 98. Hip, hip, hip.
We go from Cowboy fan Jamie Foxx to Cowboy fan favorite Ezekiel Elliott. Coming off back-to-back road wins, Zeke and the boys are thankful to be returning home, where a win would move them into first place in the NFC East. That's the spot currently occupied by Washington, which is now led by Colt McCoy. He replaces the injured Alex Smith and makes his first start in 4 years as the Texas Longhorn alum returns to Dallas, the site of his best games as a pro. It's a tradition that goes 41 years back. Thanksgiving football in Dallas. And what a delicious matchup as these longtime rivals get it on. For the top spot in the division, it's the Washington Redskins battling the Dallas Cowboys. And for the 25th consecutive year, we are happy to share Turkey Day with you here on this Built Ford Top Fox NFL special, brought to you by the Ford F-Series, the official truck of the National Football League. Come on in and stay a while, folks. I'm Kurt Menefee. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you at home. And thanks to Jamie Foxx for starting things off in style. His new movie, Robin Hood, is in theaters everywhere. And I am thankful to have the very best in the business right beside me. Guys I call my very good friends, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And thank you for our crew here working on Thanksgiving Day as well. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, folks. Happy Thanksgiving to you at home. And you know what? Actually, those of you at home, by the time your crazy uncle does something awkward at the dinner table tonight, the Dallas Cowboys of all teams could be leading the most insane division in football.
Philadelphia is the best team in the league.
Defending champions of football. This is a burgeoning dynasty. There is no winning team in the NFC. The NFC East is bombing.
A 3-game win streak.
Redskins in first place. There's a lot of things working against the Eagles right now.
Alex Smith is down. Oh, boy. I think Alex Smith might have just broken his ankle.
Road wins in Philly and Atlanta. New life for Dallas. Dallas will play on Thanksgiving against Washington for first place.
Well, the winner of this game will be in first place, Jimmy, in the NFC East, and they may need it if they want to have postseason hopes.
Yeah, I don't see a wild card coming from this division, so you're going to have to win it if you're going to make the playoffs. Now, if Washington wins, they're going to have a 3-game lead on Dallas because they've got the tiebreaker if they win. If Dallas wins, my pick, I think they take control of the division because they got a very difficult game next week on Fox against New Orleans, but after that, they've got 4 very winnable games.
So you're saying they're going to lose next week, next Thursday?
Well,
they'll have a tough time with New Orleans.
Later, and next week's pick next week. Hey, let's talk about Washington here. They're in first place right now, but they did lose their starting quarterback in Alex Smith. Colt McCoy is going to have to be the guy the rest of the way. Big difference?
I think Colt McCoy will be fine. Let me just take our viewers, because I study so much, back to October 27th, 2014, when Colt McCoy, on Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys, upset the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. Colt McCoy can do the job. He will do it just fine. He's got Crowder and Reed and Harris. He's got guys. He's got playmakers. I think they'll attack the Cowboys deep. They'll run the football. I think personally, Jimmy, you think Dallas is going to win, and I'm telling you, I agree with you. But I do like Washington's chances in this game with McCoy.
But you guys got to remember, Washington did beat them the first game. Early. And the reason they beat them is because Washington had the great defensive front with Allen, Payne, Ioannidis, and Ryan Kerrigan. They held Ezekiel Elliott. He had 33 yards rushing in the first game, only 9 yards receiving I mean, they understand this offense runs through Ezekiel Elliott. If you stop him, you put it on the back of Dak Prescott, and you let him try to win this game for you. Now, this is before they brought in Amari Cooper, but I know their formula is going to be the same. Shut down Zeke and see if Dak can carry this team.
Yeah, Washington being where they are right now, it's improbable given the injuries they've had. Well, we saw Smith go down last week. It seems like every one of their offensive linemen has been down, and they've got a couple that aren't coming back. And I think they get their 2 tackles back. And Jay Gruden has done an outstanding job. And Bill Callahan is a very, very, very good offensive line coach. That coupled with the experience that you talked about at the quarterback position and the backup, I think gives them an opportunity. But this defense has to carry this football team. This is a different Dallas team than they saw earlier in the year that they dominated defensively. There's going to be a big challenge on the road in Dallas today.
All right, we've got more on these 2 teams as we continue with a jam-packed show. Here's what else we've got for you, brought to you by Geico, including the Cowboys. Yes, they are thankful for their back-to-back wins. Has Amari Cooper been the difference? Plus, we'll hear the story of the former NFL player and Fox Sports analyst Tim Green. He's been battling ALS. His story exemplifies the essence of Thanksgiving.
The Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Special Pregame Show is sponsored by the Ford F-Series. Built Ford Tough. Built Ford Proud.
Before we get back to today's game, allow me to get personal for just a bit. This week, our former colleague here at Fox, Tim Green, went public with the fact that he's been diagnosed with ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. Before I came into the studio, Tim and I announced games together for a couple of years here at Fox. And while he's known to the public as a former NFL player who's also a Rhodes Scholar finalist with a law degree and has written a number of best-selling books, when I think of Tim, I think of how dedicated he's always been to being a good husband and father. So it's no surprise that as he faces the fight of his life, it's become a family effort.
It's like you told me, go for it slowly. It's not a race to the end. Well, you look like yourself, but you're somebody else. Only it ain't on the surface.
It was early 2016. My dad started having, kind of issues. He would always mention to me small things. He said, I'm talking and the sound in my head, the voice, the words in my head can't come out of my mouth fast enough.
So I remember when I got the phone call, I remember thinking, there's got to be a mistake.
I don't care what they say the life expectancy is. Like, Dad's living forever. We're going to do it. It's going to be great.
You have to remember that his brain is 100%, functioning. You have a person who's still, as sharp as ever, who's, in a way kind of trapped in a body that's not responding like it once did.
It was harder to really think about it. It was easier to kind of shut it out because the symptoms weren't as visible. It was easier to just pretend like nothing was happening, I think.
At first, your world drops. And then it kind of turned into all right, well, what's next? How do we beat this? What's our next step? Let's go.
Every Thanksgiving, we all sit around the table and I say to everybody, what are you thankful for?
So, guess I'll start.
Dad, you're a force that cannot be stopped.
With everything you've done, football, TV, writing, you've always made sure you were there for me and the rest of our family.
You always find a way to connect with me, even when we had a million other things to do in your busy life.
You've taught me, most importantly, that if I can't change something that I don't like, that I better just change my attitude about it.
You've taught me what it means to be a man, and more importantly, you've taught me what it means to be part of a family.
You and Mom have given me 3 brothers, yet you've never let me for a second believe that I am less strong, less fast, or less smart than any of them.
I've put your lessons into my daily life and can't wait to watch you teach all of these things and more to your grandchildren. So thanks, Dad. I love you so much.
Every day, I try to be a little bit more like you. Like you always say, I love you forever and infinity.
Dad, I love you forever and infinity. And no matter what happens, I know you love me too. Sorry.
I think the strength of a man can be measured by his humility and the love in the people closest to him. I may be here for, 2 years or 20 years or 2 days. We don't know. But I know today I woke up and I thank God for the things I have.
I saw the part of you that only when you're older you will see too. You will see too.
Hopefully we don't all have to suffer a terrible diagnosis to find out we are loved as much as Tim is by his former colleagues here at Fox Sports and obviously his 5 children and his wife. I mentioned that 15 years ago he and I were broadcast partners. Those were the last 2 years that Tim worked here at Fox. But back in 1994, when he began, his very first partner was a 25-year-old kid named Joe Buck. Joe joins us now from Dallas. Joe.
I just love the man. I know you were talking directly to him on the other side of the camera you're staring into. I know I'm talking directly to Tim Green on the other side of the camera that I'm staring into right now. Yeah, we auditioned together back in 1994. I think we both lied on our applications. I had never done any football. He had never broadcast anything, and we kind of launched ourselves into this thing hand in hand, so to speak, and fought our way and figured our way through it back in 1994. I learned so much from Tim Green about how to be a dad, a young father in this business, about how to be a better husband as he is to Alyssa. You know, I know so many are afflicted with this horrible disease. I can tell those people who fight this disease that now that Tim has gone public with his diagnosis, they just got the best teammate that they could ever have in this fight. There is nothing this man has ever put his mind to that he has not accomplished, whether it's being an NFL player, it's being a lawyer, it's being an author, it's being a broadcaster. He's a wonderful human being, and we were all better for having known him here at Fox, and we're all better now knowing him with what he's battling up in the Skaneateles area in the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. Tim, I love you, buddy, and I and all of us are thinking about you. I would never bet against you. Go get him, man.
He is the perfect guy to be the face of this disease because he's always been curious. I can remember a conversation with him just about the word crepuscule. You know, and he's just curious about wondering what these words mean and turning them in. And this is just, as we talked about, just a terrible diagnosis for anybody to go through.
You know, I just want to give a shout out to a friend of mine that actually became a friend over the phone, and I'm going to see my good friend Robin and Harrison Anderson in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this Wednesday. So we're going to spend the day together, buddy, fighting ALS, tough disease. You're a tough man, so Tammy and I look forward to spending the day with you. When
you look at bottom line dollars, ALS is one of the most underfunded research causes all around. But Tim Green's family is already doing something about it. In just a week since going public, they've raised more than $1 million on this website. And you can be a part of it. Just go to tackleals.com, donate whatever you can. All the proceeds will go to research to fight this crippling disease and for medical care to help families who cannot afford it on their own.
The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
The Cowboys win! Cowboys win!
2 consecutive wins, playing for first place in the East on Thanksgiving Day.
You know what, guys, 3 weeks ago, we had written the Dallas Cowboys off. Now they won back-to-back games.
We didn't write him off.
We, meaning America.
Oh,
maybe that's it.
Let you finish.
Look, they traded for Amari Cooper right about the time they started winning. Is this that simple? that they got him and now they're a different team?
It helped.
He's had an effect, but not necessarily his receptions. They're going 3 wide outs, 1 tight end, 1 back, and it spread the defense. I think it's opened it up for Ezekiel to run the football.
Yeah, he's not. The impact you're saying is for the run, but he's done nothing. I thought when he's done nothing. When he came over, I looked for post, takeoff, deep crossing. He's done none of those things. They're wasting him.
The first game he was there, they focused on him. Dak went out of his way to get them too much, but at the same time, it let everybody know they're going to focus on this guy, so they shift their defensive focus, which is open it up for their other receivers and the running game.
For this guy,
he's worth it. He's young.
Whether you're talking about today, you're talking about down the road this season, or you're talking about moving forward, I think the big question, regardless of who's calling your plays, regardless of who's the head coach, is the quarterback the guy, and will he continue to evolve?
Howie, now the defense they've got to roll the dice. Are they going to single cover Cooper, or are they going to put 8 in the box?
What are you going to do? I'm going to go 8 in the box.
I'm putting 8 in the box.
In a heartbeat.
I want to see
in a heartbeat.
Yes. They have got to prove to me that this guy is everything that they thought he was when they gave that number 1 pick.
But I'll tell you
right now, I don't see it.
He put up big numbers out in Oakland. He definitely was worth everything when they drafted him in the first round.
He's 24 years old.
He's 24. He's a young kid.
I'm sorry, I didn't know
I think he's worth it.
You guys are fighting like it's Thanksgiving already. Hey, they think it's worth it because they've already seen enough in him to go and try and lock him up long term right after the season.
This is a very young, talented football team.
Yeah.
The big question is the quarterback.
Yep.
And what do you do with the quarterback?
Let's talk about the quarterback on the other sideline there, who's now with crutches, Alex Smith.
Oh, man, Alex Smith had a really bad compound fracture. It actually, instead of breaking this way, it broke this way, which means he's going to be out a good 8 to 10 months. But they're going to have to roll with Colt McCoy moving forward, because even though Alex Smith is out, his contract for next year is guaranteed. Is another $31 million guaranteed, so they are stuck with him on the books.
And they brought in Mark Sanchez, right?
They brought in Mark Sanchez this week.
Can he come back and play?
I have no idea. You got to see what happens here over the next 10 months, but he's not going to be ready for the start of next season.
Sounds like they're going to have to do something in the offseason. Let's talk about the Cowboys. Their season could come down to today. But they play every year on Thanksgiving. We know that. So Rob Riggle said, hey, I've got the perfect person to help him out and give us a holiday message.
Howdy, America, I'm Crazy Jerry. And I got a lot to be thankful for. I'm thankful I can still remember the 90s. Super Bowls and Ace of Base. Can't beat either. And I'm crazy. I'm thankful Zeke Elliott isn't currently suspended. Hello? He did what? And happy Thanksgiving, Jimmy Johnson. I hope you can forgive me, but if you can't, I don't care, because I'm rich.
Crazy Jerry. He's taking the Cowboys. Everybody's taking the Saints. Who are you taking in this game?
Well, we're tied, but if you're even, I'm leaving. I'm taking Dallas.
Dallas.
Redskins.
I'm picking for Gonzalez. He's taking the Lions.
Yeah, he's already wrong on that one. Hey, on Thanksgiving Day, the Cowboys are 7-1 against Washington. We'll see if they can make that 8 because kickoff is next. Thank you for watching the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Special Pregame.